if you really want to make some good money and cut the emotion out and try to stick to charts, there's this theory that I've been using, and there's a lot to the theory. It's called the 5.3 theory. Math is absolute. The theory behind it is that every 4 years you can divide it by 5.3 and get the future 4-year prediction, and it has never been wrong.
Wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode. Guys, we got a great friend of mine today, super knowledgeable in the crypto space. I honestly don't know anyone more knowledgeable and has been able to predict almost everything in crypto. My friend Todd Green. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good timing too.
It's a pleasure to be here, dude.
Yeah, Bitcoin's about to hit all-time high right now.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing this for years now, and I think that's kind of why I ended up here, is because you're seeing those predictions, and I just wanted to come on here and kind of explain how I got them.
Absolutely, yeah. You were one of the first people I hit up, but you're so low key in that crypto space.
Yeah. I even now, I'm not here to get followers. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm not a financial guru. I'm just here to kind of open light to technical analysis and how it could work, and a specific theory that I've been using to get those prices. That's been predicting Bitcoin's price since the inception of Bitcoin.
Yeah, and the way you do technical analysis is so unique because so many people try to do it, but they fail, right?
Yeah. A lot of the things with technical analysis, it's trial and error. Like when I first started, I'm not by any means, when I first started, I've been through my depressions. I remember when I was like 18, I first started, I opened up a Roth IRA, and I didn't know anything what I was doing. I was just kind of, every year I would just add to it. And then 5 years went by, and I opened it up, and it was 30 grand, and it was 5 grand gains. And I was like, I only made 5 grand in 5 years. And then that's when I was like, I need to take control of it. So after 25K, they let you, trade willingly. You can do whatever you want. And I just started doing that. And you kind of dive into finance with optimism at first, and you get wrecked pretty quickly, just by emotion. Emotion controls a lot when it comes to trading. And I bet at first I was making a ton of money, and I wasn't losing for like a year, 2 years, and I was like, holy shit, like, I was pretty excited. And after a while, it started going down, and then I was like 22, 23. And you get to a point where you're like, am I going to let this beat me, or am I going to learn and figure out what's happening? And then that's when I got introduced to technical analysis.
Got it.
And because I was really big on fundamentals, I was buying because of news articles. I would hear about Tesla coming out with a new car or supposed to have good earnings. Then you'd buy into that.
Yep.
And then you'd get wrecked. And you're like, wait, like what happens? And you either figure it out or you give up. And a lot of people give up.
Right.
But I couldn't. I don't like to be defeated and that kind of stuff. So I kept doing it for years. I mean, now I'm going strong for 15 years.
Damn.
And I feel like I've really figured out a really nice system that cuts all emotion out, or as much as you can, and it's all through TA.
That's awesome. Yeah, because they say like buy the news, right?
Yeah,
because it's all emotional trading.
Yeah. A couple examples of that too. FTX crash. When FTX crashed, you've seen my Instagram post. I was like, look guys, it's 15.5 right now. The charts the news is telling you to sell, and everyone's freaking out. They're calling 10K. But I was like, no, 15.5 is the bottom. And now we're here now, and it's 65. And then I got the buy at 3K. I called the top at 65K. I got the rebuy at 15.5, and now we are entering a really interesting state. Because today, Bitcoin's at, I think, 68,000.
Yeah,
kind of good timing for us to have the podcast and talk about what's coming up. A lot of that too is specifically, if you really want to make some good money and cut the emotion out and try to stick to charts, there's this theory that I've been using, and there's a lot to the theory. It's called the 5.3 theory, and I don't think anyone's ever talked about it publicly on any podcast anywhere ever. There's a couple of YouTube channels that I follow that have brought it up. This guy named Steve, he's from Crypto Crew University. He's done a lot of research into it. The 5.3 theory, what it does is, if you take the first every 4-year cycles, because you have 4-year cycles in Bitcoin, if you take the first 4-year cycles and you measure from like a penny to the top, and you can see the tops to bottom on all the cycles, all 4-year cycles, because it's already happened. So you can back engineer the algorithms and the patterns. So if you measure the first 4 years back in 2008, 9, when it started 12, you get around 320,000% ROI, roughly, depending on what exchange you use, because there's different prices and liquidity. But roughly around 320,000. If you divide that by 5.3, you get 62,000. 62,000 was the next run up to 20K from the bottom to the top. And then when we came back down and ran to 60K, if you divide again 60,000 by 5.3, you get 11,500. 11,500 was the next 4 years ROI.
Are you looking to start a new website? Look no further than Hostinger. Hostinger is a top global web hosting and website creation brand where you can generate a full website in seconds using their AI website builder. Before, it would take hours, sometimes days to start a website, so this is a game changer. All you got to do is answer 3 questions and it generates an entire website with copy and images, and you can customize it further with a drag and drop editor. No need to pay thousands on web developers anymore. Their builder is also user-friendly, requiring no coding or technical skills, and they offer AI SEO-friendly copy and an AI logo maker to create high-quality logos. They also got a sick AI heat map, which predicts visitor behavior. It's super affordable, guys, less than $3 a month, and that also includes a free domain name, which saves you additional money. If you're interested, check out hostinger.com/DSH, hostinger.com/DSH, and use code DSH, get a discount on your order. Back to the show.
ROI, top or bottom to top. You can literally just pull out a calculator and you measure yourself. Math is absolute. When it comes to TA, it's all math, algorithms, pattern recognizing, indicators. You use your indicators to find the strength in the patterns that you're watching, things like that. And then again, 11,500. If you divide it by 5.3 again, you get 2,100. 2,100 was the first run up when we went from 3K to 69,000. That's 2,100%.
Crazy.
So the theory behind it is that every 4 years you can divide it by 5.3 and get the future 4-year prediction, and it has never been wrong. And me coming here and talking about it today, I'm not actually saying that it's going to hold true from now on in the future, but from how I've made most of my predictions was using the 5.3 theory. So the issue with the 5.3 theory coming up to where we're at now in the market is so now we're at 2,100% in the last run up, 3K 21 or 3K to 61,000 or 69,000. If you divide that by 5.3, you get around 420%. That says, according to the 5-point theory, that from bottom to top, and 15.5 is the bottom for this cycle, that the top is only going to be 78K, 80K. That should be the top. A lot of people are talking about 100K, 150K. They've been talking about, you remember 4 years ago, they were talking about $1 million Bitcoins. Yeah. If you go to 99bitcoinobituary.com, you can literally look at most of the articles and by chart, by price. So, insider info, Forbes at $3, Bitcoin's doomed. This ever since the inception, you can literally look how many times China has banned Bitcoin, which is like 10 times. They do it every other year. Yeah. And the amount of times it's died, it'll show you every article since it was a penny. And it's just nonstop news that just kind of strays people from what's really happening.
Wow. So knowing that information, it's pretty much a money printer.
Yeah. Just to be clear, about the 5-month theory, because it's one of the main reasons I'm trying to share something today is if you just get a calculator out and look at every 4-year cycle, draw up and down, get the 325,000 to start, divide it by 5.3, and it equals 62,000. Measured from bottom to top of that next cycle, it's 61,000. You divide that cycle again by 5.3, you get that 11,000%. And then that's the exact number from bottom to 20K that we got. And then again, from 15K to 69K, that was from what happened a couple of years ago. It's literally this all the way through. So the prediction for the next top in Bitcoin is around 78 to 80K.
And when that happens, you're predicting it to drop to 15K?
Not 15. I see support around 30, 35K. I don't think it's really going to get deep down there. We could have a wick down to 25, but it'll be very short-lived if it is.
Wow. That's probably an unpopular opinion because most people are saying Bitcoin to 100 this year.
Yeah. I usually, this whole time I've been trading for 15 years. Most of the time when I talk about my opinions, I've never had people on my side. It's always the smartest people. The people that were in my DMs telling me that I was wrong about 15K and I was going to 10 were multimillionaires, very smart people, and I don't blame them. For them to understand charts and patterns and recognize patterns like that through indicators and Fibonacci and understanding that whole sector, it's a whole other game. There's fundamental people and there's technical analysis people, and you're one or the other. I enjoy fundamentals. I don't care about fundamentals too much, but I enjoy good fundamentals with good TA. Right. That helps. But how many times have we had good earnings and then it tanks on an option just to manipulate the option players and then mess up the short-term option players and then they go right back up? That happens all the time.
Do you think crypto is manipulated in that sense? Because with stocks, I think think 6 companies own 80% of them, right?
Yeah. With crypto, you want to believe that not everyone is involved on like a bigger scale of manipulation, but like something that really turned my my thoughts on like certain people like Elon Musk. I really wanted him to be different. But what really messed with me was the day, I remember the exact day I called my friend Mike and I was like, hey, Mike, I was like, Elon, we were in Doge and I was like, hey, we're up a lot. I know it's at 65, 70 cents. We were like, he's going on the Daily Show to talk about Dogecoin.
I remember that,
for the first time ever. They were like, "Oh, he's going on the Daily Show." I was like, "We're selling as soon as he sits in that chair." And we sold right at 65 cents. And literally the next week came down straight down to 10 cents. That's a perfect example. And FTX again was 15.5, and they were screaming 10K, and they were screaming 10-year recession. I mean, I'm like, what happened? Where the Dow's at 40K, like everything, like what happened to that 10-year recession? You scared everyone out of positions, and now those people that were scared because they didn't have charts to help them guide themselves through the noise of the news, they now they're wrecked, and now they're watching the bull market and they're in disbelief. So now they're wrecked both sides. That's the danger of listening to news when you're making investments. You can't.
Yeah, the cool thing with what you do is it doesn't matter the market conditions. You can make money during a recession too, right?
Yeah, up and down you can. The way down's a little bit more risky, and a lot of it you have to practice risk management because it is easy to get overexcited. Hitting things all the time. I've been that person as well. I've made a lot of money, and I've also lost a lot of money too. I'm not perfect at all, but over the years I have figured out a way to increase my probabilities on trades.
Yeah,
and that is 100% through TA. I'm at the point. There was even a point where I was guessing. When COVID was around, you used to be able to go on TradingView and you could pull up the death chart so you can measure death rate. And I was charting it, and I was predicting news spikes of news spikes. I did it twice to the T, like to the exact week. I was like, hey, I have a Discord, and I was just telling everyone, I was like, hey, it's looking like we're gonna get another spike this week, and literally did get it just through like patterns. You could like, chart it. Yeah, you can't get the data anymore, but back then you used to be able to chart it, and you could see the momentum and the MACD and the RSIs moving and flowing, and then when it turns bullish, you could see that the news articles come out. Typically, when with TA, a lot of the times you'll have like a descending wedge, which is just a triangle descending. It's a pretty bullish pattern, comes down and breaks up, but typically at the tip of wedges or the tip of bull flags they look like flags. I mean, the end of wedges and flags and those kind of things are right when things are squeezing. That's when news comes out. And you have to think, like, when things happen, how do all these news articles have all this stuff ready and going? Every single person, so the manipulation is very high. Right. Like you have Elon Musk in it. You have almost everyone is part of it, and whether you want to believe it or not.
Do you think Elon's fighting against it a little bit though?
He is. And honestly, when two sides to the story, it might not even have been him being the manipulative, because he was just invited to a show. Maybe it could have been the person that invited him to the show that planned it for that exact day to pump up the exit liquidity needed on Dogecoin. Was Elon going on to the talk show? That was the exit liquidity they needed to provide to those people getting out that knew better.
Are there any news outlets that you trust?
I am honestly at the point where I don't watch any news. I have a few YouTubers that I watch very consistently that speak the same way I do. They stick to charts, they stick to facts, patterns, graphs, technical analysis. That's really I have a couple YouTubers that I watch. But
I'm the same way, dude. I grew up every day watching the news, and now I don't watch any news.
And it's sad. And whether or not it's politics or not, or this and that, and the market's ever changing. It's you have to adapt to change constantly. Like even the things I'm talking about right now with the 5.3 theory. So what I also believe the 5.3 theory was, because everyone knows the first Bitcoin transaction that was ever pushed out had a bailout message attached to it. The bank bailout that happened back then, he attached that to it. So we kind of understand his incentive, or whoever's incentive, to create this currency Bitcoin, and the first message was the bailout of Bitcoin, right? So we have to think that there's a hyperinflation scenario coming. The hyperinflation scenario everyone's been talking about for 10, 20, 30, 40, it's always been in talks. But I truly think what Bitcoin's purpose was a timer. With the 5.3 theory, you diminish into nothing. If the 5.3 stays true, it's been true since the inception of Bitcoin, but if it stays true, then it'll go sideways for 5-10 years. And I failed to understand that an asset that's so big right now, with a set supply, with like 1.5 million circulating, that it's just going to go sideways when everyone's eating out of it. Like so what I believe the Bitcoin's true intentions are to time the hyperinflation scenario. So it's like a 15-year timer. it's like okay, we're timing, we're squeezing, and then boom, hyperinflation. So I think that's truly what Bitcoin's purpose is to time the hyperinflation scenario, because we already have all these crazy things against the dollar. If you go to the dollar on the TA side of it, and you go to the monthly chart, just any TA guy out there, like, just take a look at it. Do you see any higher highs ever in a cycle? Do you see lower lows? Of course you do. So, and then we're constantly printing money at a crazy rate. That's just going up constantly. That's why, Bitcoin's going up. There's set supplies to it. There's not enough. So the hyperinflation scenario could literally happen this decade. Like, because you got to think, like, in every 4-year cycle, we're on the last year of this 4-year cycle. You know, around 2025, first quarter. We should have another bear market rolling into that next year, into 2026 of September, roughly. That should be the next bottom of the market. And so you gotta think, like, when the ROIs start to just squeeze, like, is that a timer for the hyperinflation scenario?
Right. Who do you think invented Bitcoin?
I've seen a lot of theories and stuff out there. The main thing that helps me with not caring, because there's a lot of theories that it's CIA or like just government, like the bad stuff, you know what I mean? But there's also a good theory that I've heard is the guy that he worked at TSA, I believe, and they have certain algorithms and code and security that they say don't have backdoors, but they all do. All the registered codes and securities and things they have that in the TSA, they are all they pass their qualifications. And the guy that used this certain formula for Bitcoin's price action, then the security of it, he used the only algorithm that doesn't have a backdoor. Like TSA they have backdoors to all their things. And when you think they don't, they can see all your banks.
TSA?
They just like the government, people up there, they have all access to all your stuff. They really do.
Wow.
But when it comes to Bitcoin, it's one of the only things that they use a specific algorithm that they didn't have a backdoor to. So it's kind of it's an interesting thing just to add to the mix, because if he really was trying to pull a rug pull in the future, they wouldn't have used the code they used, is pretty much,
Right.
Yeah.
I've had so my friend's the founder of CoinMarketCap, and he told me it was 3 guys. One of them's dead, but he said there's 2 guys that are still alive.
Gotcha. He's pretty confident about it.
Pretty confident. Pretty credible source too.
Yeah. I'm not sure about, completely, but it's an ever changing market. You just have to adapt to the change. And honestly, a lot of the things that I'm even talking about, a lot of the TA and things like that, a lot of people are getting into TA, and a lot of people are learning it. And once people do start learning everything that they know, then they start changing it up. So like they're always a couple steps ahead. You have to think like that.
Yeah. Does TA work on altcoins? Because you're not going to make a 10x on Bitcoin right now.
So the 5.3 theory only works on Bitcoin. I've tried it out on a couple other ones. Ethereum has a very interesting pattern. But I haven't found anything. It's just Bitcoin that this applies perfectly to the exact percent since the inception of it. And you have to think, if this algorithm, or if this 5.3 theory has been true since the inception, then why were they blaming out of all the things they've blamed in the last 14 years of why Bitcoin went up or why it went down, why is it following its exact price no matter what? Once you have this math.
Are you interested in coming on the Digital Social Hour podcast as a guest? We'll click the application link below in the description of this video. We are always looking for cool stories, cool entrepreneurs to talk to about business and life. Click the application link below, and here's the episode, guys.
The algorithm of the 5.3 theory, how can you not think that? You know what I mean? Like if price action was set in stone the whole time, then how can you blame FTX, or how can you blame the Luna crash that just took it to where it was supposed to go?
Right.
Like it didn't take it under. The 5.3 theory stayed true. I'm telling, like the whole time, it's never changed. It's
pretty
been
crazy
to the exact T.
Everyone said Michael Saylor was crazy when he was buying Bitcoin during the bear.
Yeah, I've been buying. I've been buying since 2018, almost every week. Like I buy as if it's like my last chance at financial freedom.
That's
crazy. It's just when opportunities come like this, and I'm pretty good at when opportunities come around, I try to attack them and get them handled. And this is just one of the financial opportunities that I feel like is just going to change everything.
Yeah, you study the flow of money, especially with these bigger companies, and you mentioned grayscale assets.
Yeah, grayscale. So if you want some solid picks and you're new to crypto and you want a beautiful selection of assets, if you go to Grayscale's assets, Grayscale Trust Investment, they own a bunch of different crypto tickers and all that stuff. Like my first one was ETC, Ethereum Classic. I got it at like 350 and I sold it like 100, 120. Wow. And that was one of my main incentives for getting that, was when I learned about Grayscale. And I learned of it. When you got to think, if you have a big hedge fund that's already singling out certain coins on a list, they have a list that they have. There's like 20 of them, and then they have a list of potential acceptings. And those are like the higher risk, but they're already looking at it. It's on Grayscale, right? So if you go on Grayscale and look at the assets in consideration, and you look at those and see all those, I'm telling you, like at this point, everything's kind of moving up right now. But if you would have followed that, which was what I've been doing, and you just bought every single one of those and accumulated those, every single ticker in that thing is up. Damn. All of them. Not a single one is down right now. They're all up 1, 2 to 1000x to 2000. Even the comparables, like so ETC has ETCG, Litecoin has LTCN, and Ethereum has ETHE. Yeah. So when you look at those, and like Grayscale was at $8 at a point. It was at a super discount. Typically, Grayscale sells at a premium of Bitcoin's price. Like if Bitcoin's at 50K, GBTC is 55. But for some weird reason, when it was down to 15K, it was only $8. I'm like, it should be 15. Why isn't it 8? The discount was heavy. So I loaded up at $9. It's at 60 right now. Wow. So, but you have to think. So now it caught up. It was 50% less. $16, and that was only $8 at 16,000. But now we're at 60,000, and it's at $60. So it caught back up. So on a lot of, and like Litecoin didn't really move at all this year. Maybe 1x. If you go to LTCN, it's up 1,000%. Damn. BAT, basic attention token, one of my favorites. It literally like jumped up like another 1,000.
I have some of that.
Yeah, BAT's only up like 50%. So like the Grayscale assets seem to have just jumped up like way more than the other ones. But the idea is like those Grayscale assets, if you like those, that's a beautiful portfolio. If you pick those and then say, well, like I said, right now it's a little hard because you're buying in while it's going up. And, right now I am looking for, a retracement down to 35K in the next couple months, or it could even be in next year. Cause I did have these, I had 78 to 80K targets when it was 15K, and I even talked about it. And if we hit that now, the difference between this cycle and the other cycles that's just kind of concerning is we've never hit higher highs before a halving before. It's always at the halving and then it goes up and after, but we've almost priced in our move for the halving. It's almost like they priced it in automatically. So there, be cautious of that rolling into the halving. We could actually get that retracement, and it's a healthy retracement. You don't want things to keep going up and down. The way Bitcoin moves on 4-year cycles, you have 2-year bear and 2-year bull. And on those 2-year bull, on the bear from the accumulation year and then the bull year, you have 3 phases. You have the first phase, which was 15 to 35 or 15 to 30. And then when we broke up 35, we had to retest that 30. That's why we went to 40, then 30. That's phase 1, phase 2, and now we can potentially be in phase 3. But with TA, I am waiting on one final confirmation, which is the monthly close of this exact month. Because right now we're still not out of the woodworks. I know like we're at a triple top right now. No higher highs up. RSIs are extended. MACDs are extended. The TDI Trader Dynamic Index all super like overbought. They're ready to sell. So just the idea that it comes down, and I'm a bear and a bull. I'm not like but yeah, I'm bullish at 15. I'm bearish at 69. Like so I stay bull and bear. But if that happens, just expect a little bit of a dip over the next couple months. And like I said, I'm not a bull or a bear, or I'm a bull and a bear. But you just want to be cautious because you don't want to buy when things are going up. And if we do get this retracement I'm speaking about, just know that that's when I'm going to be loading up again, so we can enter phase 3 much more healthy. We have to come down to retest that phase 2. Or we could really be, the thing about the hyperinflation scenario too, is there's 2 sides to it. I was projecting 2026, 2027 hyperinflation scenario, but there could also be the chance that it happens now. I could be out by a couple years, it's either this cycle or next cycle. Yeah. So just depending on really this month is the key. If we close above 61,000 this month by April 1st, or then it's bullish. If it's under 61, then expect April and May to be a bloodbath.
I love it. Wow. So Grayscale is like the Nancy Pelosi of the crypto world.
Yeah, Grayscale is the Nancy Pelosi.
They don't
for
lose.
Sure. And especially those assets under consideration. I'm telling you, if you want them, those 20 to 50 X's, you get in before they're accepted, and they're already on the assets of consideration. And if you look at any of them, I literally have them all charted. Every one of them is up right now. Wow. So if you would have stuck to that strategy that I've been sticking to, the 5.3 theory, the Grayscale assets, it was just an easy win.
Any altcoins you think are here for the long run?
With altcoins, I try to, so I'm just using altcoins to make Bitcoin right now. At the end game, I don't want any altcoins. I just want to stick to the big guys. But right now I am playing the alt season like everyone should be, or at least be aware of it. It's a lot of easy gains. You just make more Bitcoin. That's the whole point. Yeah. With altcoins, I think that There's going to be a couple that do hit. I like to invest in a little bit of every sector. Like for gaming sectors, I have Gala and a couple other ones that Gala's up like 300% right now. I got in at like 1.5, 1.2 was pretty much the dead bottom. I have EOS for like the structural idea of like, just something you can build things on. I have Dogecoin SHIB for the meme sector. BAT is a really good coin. I'm pretty sure they produced revenues already. It's an ad company that you use Brave browser. You search your internet and they pay you in crypto. It's a beautiful company. It's nice. And the pattern looks great. So I try to stick to a little bit of every sector. You have DeFi you can invest in, which is great. You want to learn all the sectors and then try to hand pick them. So learning all the sectors is the start, and then go to Grayscale and see if those sectors are in their portfolio, and then hand pick them.
Smart.
Those are the ones I believe that are really going to hold.
We've talked about the good side of crypto. Let's talk about the dark side. There's some scammers.
Yeah, the scammers are very strong. If you notice a pattern, speaking of patterns and pattern recognition. When meme coins go up, you got all the people crumbing out of the woodworks. You know what I mean? Like everyone, like all the gurus and stuff, and they'll all talk about their little lucky picks and this and that. They'll never post their screenshots of the ROIs. And one thing you really have to watch for when it comes to people promoting things on Instagram and social media, if they don't speak like me, I'm not lying. If they don't speak like me, talking about charts, data, graphs, pattern recognition, cycles, phases, then you're talking to the wrong person. If you talk to them and they're like, "Oh, buy Tesla," they're coming out with a Tesla truck. You're talking to the wrong people. It's just 100%. Those are the wrong people to talk to.
What's your opinion on BitBoy?
BitBoy. I don't really have too much of an opinion on BitBoy. It's around. I haven't dove too deep into it.
He's had a roller coaster of a time.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of his stuff here, but everyone's on their own path.
Yeah. It's hard to trust some of these crypto promoters because they're getting paid, a lot of them.
Yeah, and like I said when I first came here, I'm not doing this for views. I'm not sharing my Instagram. I'm not trying to get promoted on any way, shape, or form. I'm just trying to share this pattern recognition formula that I've been using for crypto specifically. Crypto has a beautiful way of respecting Fibonacci levels, respecting patterns and algorithms. It's just beautiful. The one thing that's just beautiful about crypto is one thing that I really got screwed on in the regular market is reverse splits, issued shares, splits the other way, just weird stuff like that. CEOs, tweets, this, that. When it comes to crypto, at least for the higher value assets, most of them are, a decent amount of them have inflationary tools to where they burn coins or do certain things where they have set supplies like Bitcoin, or they reduce supply even. You don't get that in the regular market. Do you know how many times I've been screwed on a reverse split and a issued shares and all, I've so many times that I'm literally 100% done with the market. The only things I buy in the regular market nowadays are grayscale assets, just because it's correlated with crypto.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic how you found a way to have more control in the crypto space than stocks, even though it's way more risky.
Yeah, it's just the patterns. They're just much more cleaner. They respect, if you know how to do Fibonacci, and Fibonacci is all around us. In layman's terms, Fibonacci is the measurement of pattern human behavior. So if you can measure patterns of human behavior and take a step back and we know how big emotions are. People at the top, we understand how emotions work and how it controls other people and how that's possible. So to be able to take a step back and use Fibonacci, if you use any indicators, I like the RSI, I like the TDI, the Trader Dynamic Index is a beautiful indicator. The MACD, I use squeeze momentum, TTM squeezes are beautiful to show supports and resistances. And the Fibonacci, if I could just pick one thing, then take all the indicators away, it would be Fibonacci.
Wow.
I would just use Fibonacci and I could do almost just as good as I do now. The indicators just help you see the power behind the patterns. There's only about 15, 20 different patterns. Descending wedges, ascending wedges, bear flags, bull flag, it's just all, there's 15 of them, 20 of them. Once you learn them, then what? Now you have to go to the indicators. Once you learn the pattern side, then you go to the indicators, which will provide power to your patterns. You can see the power, the state of your pattern. Is your descending wedge in a bullish state? You can check that by a low RSI or a low MACD or a high RSI, through the indicators.
Yeah. How much leverage are you using?
I don't really do leverage.
Oh, you don't do leverage at all? You just do like short or long?
No, I just buy right now until my targets are hit. Until Bitcoin doesn't hit 78K. I play options a little bit. I use BITO. BITO is kind of something that they let you short and long Bitcoin with, through the regular markets. But
why don't you use leverage? Too risky?
Yeah, it's too risky. I'm just you know, I'm trying to stay focused, and leverage to me feels like it'll induce some gambling feelings or something. Like
I feel that.
I've been there. I've like when I first started trading crypto, like I said, like I didn't just like become knowledgeable overnight. It took 15 years of trial and error. I was in a 6-month depression at one point. When I was like 23. I remember sleeping face first in my couch for 3 days straight at one point.
Crap.
Like, you know, and at that point I was like 20, 22, and I saved up like 20, 35 grand, and then it went down to like 10 after it turned it to 10 to 30, 40, 50, and then went back down to 10. I was like, my account was about to get locked. I was in a depression. Like it was a mess.
Damn.
So
yeah, that's the side of trading people don't really disclose. So I appreciate that.
You want someone that can just like, you know, talk to you this way. I'm telling you, like, I'm not trying to peep my own horn, but like, I'm so tired of watching my friends and family, and like I've seen so many people get screwed over by these gurus and this and that, and it's just like and none of them are talking TA. One thing you'll notice about my calls when I post, it's very specific and very non-biased, and I'm bullish and bearish. The bulls can't hate me, the bears can't hate me. You know, and typically when I'm bullish, everyone hates me because they're bearish, or I'm bearish because everyone's bullish. You know what I mean? So that's
can't win.
The pattern.
There's going to be an opponent on either side, right?
Yeah.
Do you know your win percent overall?
My win percent, I'm up right now, like drastically.
Nice.
It's not really about the win percent, because it's more about the ROI on the total account, because like the win percent, like I could lose 10 and then hit 1 and make it all back. You know what I mean? So like then I'd be 10% win ratio, but like, you know, so but my ROI is way, I mean, from where I started, I'm probably up 10,000% from 2018.
That is crazy. You can't do that in any other sector.
Yeah,
like,
the first year that I hit it, that the first year was about 2,000-3,000% ROI, and then in between there was a lot of crazy things like Binance Coin. I got Binance Coin at $4, and that thing went crazy. ETC I talked about. You know, I remember Dogecoin. It was 3 zeros in front of it. You know, so there was a lot of like moves, but I also lost a lot too. Like, I mean, I was probably up like 10, maybe 20,000%, and then I lost like almost over half, to be honest. Like
the bear market.
Yeah, because of the bear market. And back then on the first, you know, because I just got into crypto around 2017, 18. Yeah. So it was kind of a learning curve.
That was your first bear?
Yeah. That was the first. Why I experienced the bull and then the bear, and after that it brought me, you know, to TA.
This was my first bear, the recent one, and I wasn't prepared, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's okay, because honestly, like everyone has to go through it. You need a friend or someone to like help you stay focused and keep your emotions in check, because you don't want to see your friends lose. You don't want to see them sell because of a news article on CNN or something. You know, like
my mom sold because of news. I was like, bro, if you held like
and I'm not looking down on anyone that does that. I understand. I've been there. You know what I mean? Like it's a rough. Like, emotions are crazy. Even mine. I personally still have emotions that I'm fighting every day. It's an everlasting battle.
Yeah. There's a couple conspiracy theories I want to close off with. You've got some interesting takes. So you tracked the flow of money after 9/11. You said there was a lot of money that was made.
Yeah. So America and United Airlines. So just like in the sense of money, and like the FTX thing we were talking about, and the Dogecoin thing we we're talking about, a couple other examples is you always follow big money. Like when COVID hit, I was looking up Monera and all the big COVID vaccines, and I was seeing when the big first month of big money flow was started, and that'll typically give you an idea when they really knew, because you always follow the money. And it was like 8-10 months before they even talked about COVID. Like, it was like a year before. Like, you know what I mean? And so like with 9/11, America Airlines and United, I think America had 25 times the volume of shorts 2 weeks before the crash. And then America Airline had 100 times the volume in shorts 2-3 weeks before the crash. So someone made a killing.
Damn.
Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, with stocks, don't you have to disclose who's making those stuff?
Yeah, and that's that. And another thing too, like with that specifically, George Soros, the Route 66 shooting that happened here in Vegas.
Yeah.
MGM. He shorted MGM for that specific week. He shorted for $42 million MGM, and it was during a $1 billion buyback program that MGM was going through. Buyback programs are bullish for companies. They're buying their own stock back. That's a fundamentally bullish thing. And he shorted it during that exact week during the $1 billion buyback program. Like, and then he made, he killed it.
I don't coincidences, dude.
Yeah, no. So like when you have people that are like, and you have to think, like, it might sound crazy to say, but do you think that these people care about 60 people passing away in an event when they're making hundreds of millions? Do you think that like the 9/11 thing, do you think that the people that are involved, they really cared when they're making billions? You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of money that
I don't think Soros would care.
No, he's a very known person for destroying countries and
didn't he short the pound, the UK pound?
Yeah, he destroyed countries in the past.
So he probably affected millions of lives just doing that.
He's an evil person for sure.
There's evil out there, man. He might even get this video taken down. Who knows?
Yeah. And the main thing too is like the whole idea behind trading is you want to provide for your family. You know what I mean? My main goal, any money I make, which I haven't since I started trading, I haven't withdrawn $1.
What?
Not even a single dollar.
Why?
Yeah, I have a goal, and I'm not going to stop until I get there, because what that goal involves me taking care of my parents, taking care of all the day ones that were there and stuck with me. There's a lot of, like, my to-do list for me is on the bottom. I don't care about, I'm so happy with making people happy. That's my main drive, you know, and for people that want to learn TA to help become financially free, you have to learn TA. There ain't nothing around it. You have to learn how to chart. And I'm telling you, if you're a gamer, what really inspired me to, like, if you have a gaming mindset and you're quick and you can solve things and make rational choices. I was big on World of Warcraft. I was one of the best. I was Glads. I was killing it. I was one of the best. Still am. And I would barter and trade on the auction house with gold, and I had a system and everything, and like, you know, I'd like, it was a whole system, and that's kind of when I got interested in the whole idea of bartering. You know what I mean? And then so I got really into that, and then when I turned 17, 18, that's when I opened up the Roth IRA and just kind of trickled in from there.
Yeah.
So if you get anyone with a gaming mindset or a drive, you can do TA. You just do some. I'm 100% YouTube taught. You'll find the right YouTubers. You'll trial and error, and you'll figure it out.
How long did it take you to master it, you say?
It took me about 3 years, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had to go through a first bear market. I think everyone needs to get that experience. You want to go through a bear market. Like, it doesn't feel good, but if you go through a bear market with the assistance of technical analysis and charts to kind of guide you, you almost get excited, because then you're calling bottoms. Like, it's because you get freaked out. It's hard to call a top, and then but once you hit a bottom, then you see your support, like the 15.5 bottom, and now where we're at now, like those kind of things that they feel good. Like even right now we're at 69. I honestly want to crash to 30, 35 so I can buy a little bit more, because long term I am bullish, but right now I think we're a little overbought.
I feel that. Todd, it's been fun, dude. Anything you want to close off with?
That's about it.
Do you have a Discord?
I'm not here to promote anything. I'm just here to share a little message and have a good talk with you, and it was great, man.
Damn, appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for coming on. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, see you next time.